those kind of things. Whether the pills are good or not, they're still getting them. Okay? So
have you found that when people come in, say maybe on hospice, they come to your place, and then with a change in diet, change in scenery, change in environment,
from hospice.
And
we've had quite a few.
We've had lots of them graduate from hospice.
Yeah.
But you know what? At one point, they are going to die, and they're going to go down. And we've had a lot of those that come here, and within a year or two, they pass away because they're going to die anyways.
Yep.
Because of their past. We can't repair the past, or we can't force them to change their diets and change everything to where they could get better.
You know what we have found too is
you can't do that.
What we have found too is a lot of people, when they get older, they don't have taste buds and they can't taste their food. That's why they put so much salt, or they have to have so much sugar on their food. And we have found too that eating better food makes them have a better appetite. You know, they'll eat better. We had a lady who they were giving her Ensures. I said, Ensure that. Have you ever read the ingredients on Ensure? It's nasty. You can't even.
Corn syrup.
It is like a mile-long list of words you can't even pronounce. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I could just. We make smoothies that are more healthy than that. You know.
Perfect example.
Anyway, so let me finish my thought. Anyway, so we started feeding this lady, and I refused to give her the Ensure. And pretty soon, her appetite is so good. She loves whatever we have, and you know, she loves the soups and the salads and the stuff like that. And I'm thinking, what were you eating before? But it must have been nasty. And if they don't want to eat, and it's not, and it doesn't look appetizing, it's not colorful, it's not, you know, fresh looking. But we enjoyed having the old people here. They're enjoyable, but we do learn a lot. And
just like this lady here, she's 90 years old,
walking around.
Yeah. And she has her ice cream every night and stuff, but she stays active. And we weigh once a month, and it's so funny. 1 month she's always 105, and 1 month she was 107. She just freaked out.
You know what I always tell people?
So I said, no matter how much she weighs, we're going to tell her 105.
Oh yeah, because she's
she was like.
I asked this Rob Pickles. I said, how much? Because all these pharmacies around here offer free flu shots, and they submit it to the insurance or Medicare or whatever for the old people. He said that they get $247 per flu shot. The pharmacy gets it, right, from Medicare. $247 every time. No wonder you're going to be advertising free flu shots for any idiot that wants to take one. You know, I mean, it's a syringe that costs 10 cents.
And if you've ever seen their advertisements, they make you feel really guilty that you don't love your family members if you don't make sure that they get a flu shot, you know.
How do you guys handle people who are ambulatory and get out, wander at night, or just because?
No, nobody wanders at night, really.
Right now, we don't have any wanders. We have in the past, and we usually, we have intercoms in all the rooms. And so a lot of times we can hear, like if there's talking, or sometimes even if they get up with their walker. So we can kind of hear. But there was a couple of wanderers that were stealth. I mean, they were quiet.
She'd come into our bedroom and want to get in bed with us.
Yeah, so we would be sleeping. And we kept our door open so that we could hear in the office.
But our intercom was on too.
And
you guys see the intercom on?
Oh, yeah.
And she comes wandering in. The lights are all off. I mean, she's wandering around in the dark. She comes wandering in and wants to get in bed, or she's coming to use her bathroom before. I mean, and they're trying to find their room.
Yeah.
They go
they're trying
out
to find a bathroom,
and they get mixed up day and night sometimes. But right now, all of our residents sleep pretty well during the night.
Well, do you try and keep them up during the day so they're sleeping
that's
at night
the
better?
Secret. That's the secret. If you have enough
activities,
like
a toddler or baby, right?
But like even now, like we have a lady who said, I don't feel very good. I'm going to go lay down. Well, they take a nap. They wake up. They think it's morning again.
Yeah.
You know, they get really disoriented on what the time is, another thing. We changed our time for our dinner. Rather than having it earlier, we have it at 6 and then an activity afterwards, because what we were finding is the residents were going to bed right after dinner, and then they were trying to wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, And we're going,
And
no.
Mark's still milking the cows and the goats out the back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's little tricks that you can do to try to keep them up. If you have another trick is open their windows. If they get sunlight,
fresh air.
it helps orient them to day and night. Sometimes with dementia, even then, they have no clue. It's middle of the day and they're wanting to go to bed for the night. And you're like, no, you haven't had dinner yet. You're not. But, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your time today, and I respect it and value it. I don't want to take it much more. I do appreciate the time that and the stories and all the opinions. I think we
leave
could.
Here saying they are crazy.
Well, I think we could continue this for a lot longer. One last question: if you had a family member or someone who maybe was resistant to getting help, like want to live on their own, they stay in their own house, but they're at a point where they need assistance, whether it's
That's
in
all
home.
the time.
And how does that come? How do you convince someone that you care about, that you know what's best for, but they're resistant? They don't want to
Let me just
leave
tell
their
you what
home.
they did with his wife had broke her hip. She was in a place in Mesa. They couldn't afford it. They brought her out here. The dad wanted to be with his wife. And so the daughter brought dad out at dinner time, and we all sat there, and he says, I'm going to take you out to dinner with mom. He sat next to her. We went to serve dessert after dinner. The daughter just left. It was done. Sometimes you just have to move. This is the thing.
Oh, so they brought him out like we're going to dinner, and it was dinner here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dinner here. And then they'd already moved his bed in. They'd already moved his clothes and everything else.
Yeah.
And he was clueless.
And then there's been a couple of cases where we say to the family, it might be better if you don't come out to see them
for a couple weeks
till they feel a little more settled in, because they'll just want you to take them home.
And so this is the
And
thing.
so it just depends, though, on the
and I'll
resident.
tell you,
Not all of them are like that. Some of them are just fine.
If you know, as a child, and it's your mom or dad or whatever, you know as the son or daughter that they need help, and you convince your other brothers and sisters and stuff, no matter whether the mom and dad want it or not, okay? The thing is, you just move them. Because otherwise, they're going to burn the house down, they're going to leave the stove on, they're going to leave the water on and flood the house.
Or what was happening is, he thought he was taking care of his wife, and he was feeding her Cheerios, mind
Honey
you,
Nut Cheerios
every
for a
meal.
year.
And
For a year.
And what would happen is she would start eating, and she ate really slow. Well, he would finish eating, he'd take the dishes and go put them away. She hadn't even eaten very much, so she was losing weight and not
The
doing
other part
very
of it
good.
was she fell down and broke her hip, and she laid there for 6 or 8 hours before her daughters came to visit. Her dad said, "Hey, mom won't get up." Well, they didn't know she wasn't in bed. She fell on the floor, and he's like, "Mother, get up! Mother, get up!" Well, she's reeking in pain, But the big thing was the people in the ward would bring him casseroles and everything else. And they'd put them in the refrigerator because it was too much work to light the stove or heat it up or whatever. They didn't understand a microwave. And so they just Honey Nut Cheerios and milk. It was the easiest thing they could do.
And he hadn't taken a shower. We don't know how
For a
long,
year.
but it was a
For a
long
year.
time because we had to pretty much burn his clothes.
He wore Wranglers, He had to wear jeans.
Do they stay up by themselves or stand up by
His
themselves?
garments were brown.
Oh, browner than brown. I mean, they were nasty.
Bad. It was so bad.
And it took 4 of us to get
And
in the shower
in the day,
first time.
these
Because he didn't
people.
want to. He didn't want
He
to
didn't
go.
want to.
These people grew up in the day where you just wash up. You just take a cloth and wash up, and that's a bath.
Whether it was too cold outside or whether they were saving hot water or whatever the case was.
And they don't know. To them, they don't stink. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're good.
But no, when it comes to that point, to where you really believe that they need a place,
And they'll
you better
settle
put them
in.
one.
They'll get over that little,
Otherwise,
and
the state will take them.
I
Just gotta
really
do it.
appreciate my mom, because when we were building this house, she would come out and see and she lived in a nice home,
In
was
Sunland
very
Village.
independent, drove, she still drives, I mean, all that, but she came out here and she said, "Do you have a room for me?" She says, "I know I really don't need any help right now, but
I'm tired of living alone.
I'm tired of living alone, and I know that there'll be a point where I do need help, and I'll be in a place that, because all my brothers and sisters had offered her to make her a little mother-in-law's quarters or have them live in with her, and she was happy living on her own, but she felt like with us she wouldn't be totally disrupting our lifestyle or being a burden, because we already did this. We had caregivers, so if we needed to leave, I mean, it wasn't like she was gonna be messing us up. So and I appreciate her attitude, because
she does the
most people are the opposite. They don't want to give up their independence. They don't want to
and she really hasn't given up her
and really honestly, I mean, you have this feeling like, I'm gonna live in my home and I'm gonna be here forever.
I'm gonna die here.
Rarely happens.
Oh yeah.
Rarely happens that's how it works. Most people end up having to have care, and a lot of times family, they're working, they have their own lives, they can't take care of their family members, and so.
And this is the other thing you've got to remember: they do not know what's happening to them, because as you live your life, the changes are so gradual and so subtle day to day that in a year and a half from now, we can see it because we don't see them every day. But we saw them, and then a year and a half later, we saw them and go, man, that person really declined.
It's gone downhill.
The children see it because that's their mom or dad, and they see them and go, yeah, they used to be like this. So they have a benchmark to go off of. At this point, they're like, yeah, this is what they need. Your own self, you're healthy. I'm healthy. Lynnette's healthy. You say, well, what are you going to do when it comes to the point where you have to do this kind of stuff? Has it really helped you, blah, blah, blah? My attitude is this. I'm never going to be in assisted living because I'm going to be the one taking care of them. No, I mean, seriously.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
We don't know, but
that's his attitude.
Mind over matter will always win. Because if you can, just like Lynnette's mother's 90 years old, she still goes out here and does the garden and does things. She still walks around.
Weed whacking before she left for her. She was doing all the edging before she left. She wanted to get it done, and I'm thinking, okay, the grass is not even growing. It's okay.
No, but the weeds on the edge. But this is the point. Anyway. If you have that attitude, then you'll be able to always do.
But even she'll tell you, I feel like I'm slowing down a little bit.
Well, yeah, but you can say you're slowing down.
She has to take a nap in the afternoons.
Yeah.
But
hey, I'm not playing high school football anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, am I slowing down from that? Yes. But you know what? I have other things that I need to get done.
You still have purpose.
And I still have purpose. And I still have a reason.
Yeah.
And as long as you want to go and still see your grandkids and your great-grandkids and find out what's going on in life, and like we tell her, grandma's always involved. It's because she's afraid she's going to miss something. Yeah. So as long as you're still afraid you're going to miss something, you're going to always keep going.
That's a reason right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when you say,
and she has a big
what
family,
are you going to do when you get to that point? We can be in denial all we want, but you know what? Denial sometimes helps you a bunch. No, I mean it does.
Really?
Yeah.
People that say, people tell me this all the time. I have this goal of living to 102. I might live to be 110. I don't know. Maybe I'll die at 85 or 75. I don't really know, but I don't really care because my goal is out there.
Yeah.
Okay? And as long as I keep saying I'm going to live that way, when I hear these people, oh, I don't want to live that long. I want to die at 70 years old. So I don't want to ever get old and be somebody change my diapers and this and that. You know what? Their attitude is they're already dead.
Yeah.
I love life. I love what I'm doing. I love everything about it. All the new things I'm learning. All of the stuff that I get a chance to do. I love my wife and my kids and grandkids, and it's fun to be around each other and to do what we're doing. And so as long as you still love life, what in the world do you want to leave for? No, I mean, that's just...
No, that is beautiful. And that's a great place to end. That was awesome, Mark.
No, but I mean, seriously.
I know you're not just making it up. I really like that. That felt like a good place to end. Thank you for listening if you made it this far, and we hope to catch you again very soon.